Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Chaile Time, where we tackle the do's and don'ts of the workplace and the crookedness of some people.
Especially the
Toby, welcome. Welcome to Chaile Time.
Thank you.
How are you and how you've been?
Tsebo, before we start,
Yes.
I've seen this TikTok video clip and we're going to show it somewhere here now.
Okay.
The EFF in Parliament, you think they are bad, but have you seen the New Zealand Parliament? The red berets, they can go watch and learn. No?
I love that. I love that old man in a green suit. It's like, hey.
Yes. Yeah, I was just looking at like, and I thought we were bad. Just look at this video quickly for a moment.
And they like, today Parliament, it's called off today for today. Sorry, we are done for the day. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, but if you think the EFF is bad, check out this video. Anyway, how are you? How you've been doing?
Well, this week is one of those weeks. You know, as we have said it so many times, labor law or labor relations, there's two elements to it. There's the legal side of things, but primarily it's built on a relationship. And this week, you know, I think we go through cycles. Sometimes you do a lot of retrenchments. Sometimes you deal with a lot of foreigners, illegal foreigners. But this week, it is just employers not paying employees minimum wages.
Money.
It's money. So,
money.
This week, we are talking about the big rip-off, how employers steal wages from their staff.
Employers?
How employers steal the wages from their staff. It's just one of those weeks, and you know what? Forgive me, okay? But I'm having a Bible here today. Today I will be the business, not the business partner, the business pastor.
Or the business preacher.
The business preacher.
Yes.
Today I'm preaching out of the Bible.
You know, we have the machine gun preacher.
Oh, there's many kinds of preachers in this country.
So you'll be the business preacher.
Today we're the business preacher. Many of us are saying we're religious. And I'm speaking to business owners today. And I'm sure, you know, we're going to be the champion of HR managers, because I know HR managers every day of their lives, they are fighting this battle. And you know what? I've had HR managers crying in tears, resigning their jobs because of these kind of non-compliance issues to minimum wages, overtime, Sunday times, bargaining council agreements. So I know today we are activists, we are preachers, and we're preaching for employers. We are preaching to employers.
You're taking me a few steps back, because that's a point where we once said, are we sure that HR managers are here?
So, okay, some not, okay? But really, many, you know, they are fighting the flame, carrying the flame for the staff and so. But you know, okay, so have you ever had a situation where one of your previous employers or people that you know, businesses that you know, who steal from their staff?
Stealing is a strong word, but
let's just call it what it is.
Stealing is a strong word, but
you don't pay out leave, it's theft.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, I've also been at the CCMA.
You've been at the CCMA? Oh.
No, okay. Not me taking someone to the CCMA, but I've also been at the CCMA representing someone. But they said, no, threshold, we're not going to pay.
Talk to us about that. It was a leave issue.
Yeah, it was a leave issue.
What happened there?
Poor lady was so loyal, because at some point we worked hand in hand with her in my life. I worked hand in hand with her. She was so loyal to that company. A few years later, then I've come to learn that she's no longer part of the business. And I think she resigned, out of, I don't know what happened, but, if someone chooses to resign, I always think that they choose peace rather than fighting, dismissal, this and this. And she was owed leave money. That's why she went to the CCMA.
In terms of Section 73A.
In terms of Section 73A. But because she was earning above the threshold.
Okay, Chepo, stop right there. She was earning above the threshold. So for those of you who don't know, a Section 73A dispute where an employer owes you money is only available to those employees earning below the threshold. And right now the threshold is 21,197 Rand a month. I think she still fell under the previous regime.
Yeah.
But tell me quickly, can you remember by how much she exceeded the threshold? So I can remember.
Yes.
She earned 20 Rand over the threshold. 20 Rand over the threshold. So that means the CCMA don't have jurisdiction to arbitrate the case.
Yes.
So what did you do?
I pulled the jurisdiction card.
See, we still fight for employers. If we will use the law to fight for the employers.
You're putting it on the spotlight now. But yeah, I rolled the jurisdiction dice, and then the commissioner looked at me and it's like, seriously? Because I think he was a closer gentleman.
Okay.
So at some point, we talk with commissioners. I used to go to Umtata. It's like, oh, Umtata is my hometown. Then I'm like, I used to go too much in Umtata. Then we had a chat, and then we got to the matter, and then now things changed. Now I became like, but he looks at me like, but this guy was just talking to him. He seemed like a nice guy, but now, can't you just phone and make sure that we solve this issue now? I'm like, jurisdiction. I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
So what happened? They threw the case out?
No, they threw the case out. She had to go to another council, another level.
Chepo, this week now, I had a company who phoned me. This CEO just got bad advice, man. He's of the view that you don't pay employees leave, or they don't qualify for leave if you're on a fixed term contract. So staff were on fixed term contracts for like 1.5 years or 2 years, and eventually terminated a lot of them. 94 of the staff went to the CCMA. 94. So I consulted this company this week, okay? Also Section 73 disputes, claiming outstanding leave payments upon termination. And this CEO is adamant. The basic conditions confirms that if you put in a contract of employment that the person do not qualify for leave, then that person doesn't qualify for leave. That's a complete misinterpretation of the law. As a matter of fact, it's a complete misrepresentation of the basic conditions. It doesn't appear anywhere there, okay? So, but now it's a lot of money these guys are claiming. And I had to tell them, there's this WhatsApp emoji.
I think we need an episode.
And you're gonna have to pay. I don't know who advises you, but it doesn't exist. You see a lot of CEOs there, they try to buffoon-fight this thing. They're ripping staff off. But anyway, this is one big case this week.
The one with the 94 staff.
No.
Another one.
Oh, there's another one. The actual big one that triggered me this week now. And there's actually been a few now, okay? But there's this one. Now, you need to understand this. As an employer, you need to adhere to your statutory obligations. Tax. Yes, you must pay your tax. Your PAYE deductions must be made from the staff, skills and COIRA and all these things. But you also need to comply with minimum wages. And then certain industries, they're falling under the jurisdiction of a bargaining council, like road freight, MEIBC, MIPCO, the restaurant, and so on and so forth. Those main agreements will have benefits in there. Provident funds for some of them, medical aids, minimum wages, And you as an employer, you need to comply with it. Now, in this instance, you must now see, okay, this employee who falls under the jurisdiction of a bargaining council, and actually in terms of this provision, it's aligned with the basic conditions. So there's nothing new here. This employee for 2 months, July and August, was just claiming his outstanding Sunday time and overtime. And even the main agreement of this bargaining council states, overtime is at 1.5 and Sunday times 2. It's pretty normal. So, the bargaining council issued a compliance order, and now they ask me to. Now, in the compliance order, you can object. Now they're asking me to object. So I said, okay, no problem. Just send me the timesheets, whatever, and the pay slips, so I can just at least see what is going on there. Okay, chaps. Let's open. Here's the electronic timesheet. Okay, you can't manipulate it. They have an electronic timesheet. It is what it is, okay? So this employee works every single day.
Monday to Sunday.
Monday to Sunday, he never gets off. And the nice thing about this electronic timesheet is at the end, it actually calculates automatically your normal hours, Sunday hours, public holiday hours, overtime, whatever. The overtime alone is 9,000 Rand. And then there's Sunday times 2. So, okay, for July, this person is supposed to get paid 27,634.
How much did he got paid?
Hold on now, man. Let me open that payslip. 8,102 Rand.
Can we stop the show? Because
before I stop the show, let's just go to August also. Let's go to August.
This is only for July.
That was just July. Now August, I must say August looks a bit better. Okay. He was supposed to get paid 35,000 Rand, 258. He got paid 793 Rand. It's like what? 14,000 Rand short. Now I must do an objection. Now, in moments like this, because I want to fight the battle for companies. I fight for companies. You look at jurisdiction, you look at, does this company fall under the scope of the bargaining council main agreement? You look at all those things. But at the end, I phoned the people and sent emails, nah, man, your own very timesheet condemn you, man.
Yeah.
So I did the WhatsApp thingy again.
What about the relationship now?
But now, Chepo, now you're touching on something. Now let me become the pastor now. Now listen, let's not talk about the law now.
Preach, Muruti, preach.
Let's not talk about the law now, because the law is the law. Okay? And you know what? The law does sometimes have loopholes and gray areas, and we thrive in that gray space.
And technicality.
So we will always fight for employers as far as we can. But let's talk relationship here now, man. There's a reason why we have so much issues sometimes in the workplace. Toying. And also, the union brothers is not going to like what I say now, the comrades. But one of the big reasons why there are unions in the companies, because the way management conduct themselves creates this vacuum of distrust, and then employees are trying to get help in.
Yes.
It's because of issues like this.
Definitely.
Eventually you have violence and unprotected strikes and all these kind of things, and you know what? You don't make money. At the end of the day, you don't make the zeros. Now, let me just say something here. I'm not trying to convert anybody.
Yes.
Okay? In these books, whether it's Jewish books or Islamic books or Christian books, there's a lot of wisdom in there. So I'm not trying to convert anybody. But when I was preparing for this Chaile time, I was just thinking, can I get some wisdom out of the Bible? Now let's just go and get some wisdom here quickly. There's this verse, Proverbs 11 verse 1. It says the following: dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. To apply it for today, You need to pay the minimum wage. You need to pay the overtime. And the Sunday time. This employee is supposed to get what? 27,000 Rand for July, not 8. So now you're not only going to have the comrades on your back, you're going to have God on your back. Hey, there's another verse I read the other day, no?
Yes.
Where it speaks about God is watching how a husband and a wife deals with one another. And he doesn't, and when there's wickedness and shrewdness, if you mistreat your wife, God doesn't listen to your prayers. There's a lot of wisdom here. I mean, we can talk about a lot of wisdoms. Like for instance, when you have a lot of partners you're sleeping with, the Bible calls it, and I suppose most religious books calls it fornication. Mm-hmm. Netflix calls it culture. It's a way to do it, isn't it? It's fashion. People sleeping around. Today with this boyfriend and girlfriend, tomorrow with that boyfriend and girlfriend. It's normal, isn't it? When last did you hear a movie that says, oh, the people were fornicating?
No.
That word disappeared from a vocabulary. But yet, if you look at the science...
I hear most when they talk about adultery.
But when you look at the science, they say one of the biggest reasons for STDs is multiple partners.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, I'm not converting anybody, but there's some wisdom here. This book says, dishonest scales is an abomination. You're supposed to pay your staff according to the statutory requirements. But there's a second element here. And I just want to start off with a brief story. So paying people according to minimum wages is obviously important. But there's a second element to the conversation. Hey, Pastor Amy is coming out now, you see. And obviously, this is a bit more tongue-in-cheek. This is not for every employer, because employers are in different situations, okay? Here I want to talk about, yes, you get minimum wages, but sometimes you must pay more. Sometimes there must be benefits, okay? Because at the end of the day, employees are also trying to make a living.
Yes.
Okay. Now I can remember at one of my previous employers, I was the HR and IR director of the group. Now, even though I was seemingly I had a better salary, because the company for like a few years didn't give increases, I also struggled. I mean, I remember I actually had a meeting with that owner on Friday. I had a meeting with him. He's actually one of our clients now. And then I started speaking about this concept, and I told him, in those days, I had 30 chickens in my backyard. And I was on weekends selling eggs that was laid during the week to old age homes, so we can buy bread month end. Really? You don't get through, even if you're on a better salary. I eventually end up cancelling every single service to us, like our security, some insurance policies. I had to cancel everything down to the bone so we can survive. But a lot of employers are not mindful of this. Now, I want to read this verse here. And once again, this is not for everybody. Now, I'm not blaming that employer, because this is one of those people where it actually doesn't apply, because I had insight into the financial status of the business. Yes. There wasn't actually money laying around, so I couldn't blame him. But you know what? If you are a company that actually does make a lot of money,
just pay the bill.
In a way, this is also, is it really so important in the world that we live in? That in order to make a profit, you must bleed every cent. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. Must you become so rich? 100 million rand is not enough. It must be 100 billion. I've seen this in IR, where employers will drive their employees into insanity because of making money.
Yeah.
This year they will give you an award. The company made 10 billion rand profit. Well done. Next year it must be 20 billion. Longer hours, longer overtime without payments. They start abusing and taking advantage of people, driving every single cent. Do we really need to live in that world? Of course we want to make profits. We all. But must it be to that extent? Now let's listen to this verse now. 1 Timothy 5 verse 18. For the scripture says, you shall not muzzle an ox while he treads out the grain, and the laborer is worthy of his wages. What it means, while the oxes in those times were treading out the grain to make flour out of it, sometimes the owners will muzzle the ox so that it doesn't eat. Now it says, no, take the muzzle off so that he can participate and also enjoy the benefits and the fruits of his labor. That's what it says.
Yeah.
So the question is not only do you pay minimum wages, but do you actually pay a fair wage? And now this is where the politicians will say, hey, I must go to parliament. You know, but if a company can afford it, be mindful of your staff. Sometimes people are struggling, not because of mismanagement, but because of inflation, all these kind of things, you know. What is a reasonable wage? What are reasonable benefits to your staff? Let them also enjoy the benefits of the company. That's on my heart this week, Tsepo. It's a bit more emotional, I suppose. It's a bit more sensitive. But it's really just because sometimes I sit in my office and I look and I'm like, we are so into fighting battles for the employers. And I'm like, jeez, man, just pay the people what's due them. Eh?
Yeah, no, it's.
You actually quiet. Where's the normal fire you?
No, because it takes me back, you know, whereby I used to work somewhere and then you'll find that the person get dismissed, but they won't get their last salaries and they won't get their not overtime, their leave pay.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because I was the liaising officer between the company and those employees, obviously the question will come to me. Chief, but you dismissed me. Now I'm no longer part of where's my money? You know, I felt like Zuma during the Nkandla era now, you see. Where is my money?
Hold on, I'm just going for a meeting quickly. I'll be back in about 2 hours and then we'll talk.
You see?
After 2 hours,
it's Chaile time, I'll go home. Later, they call, I don't answer the phone. Later, 2 days later, I'm blocking his number. You see now, I'm absorbing that culture now of that environment. It's sad, man. That's why you see I'm so quiet, because it happened to a lot of people. At some point, I had 150 people reporting to me. So you can imagine what was happening there. But yeah. I think every week...
Not everyone can accept that you have to pay all these benefits and inflated salaries, because it depends on your financial situation. But many can.
I think like we preach every week, you know, this is also where we come in, because, you know, we've been in different industries, experiencing a different, like you say, MIPCO, MEIBC, road freight, CCMA, you know, we've went through a lot of contracts. Like last time when I was in Durban there, working out of the CCMA, all confident in everything, but there were loopholes somewhere, you understand? So that we learn as we go. So now we become experts in years and years that we've been in this. That is why the employers, again, they must put their faith on us. Not this faith. We're not converting anyone, but the business faith. Because we can do the job and we are confident. And when it's a spade is a spade, like you said, now you saw that their own document, it's working against them. So how are you going to justify it when you get to the council? Pay back the money! Pay back the money!
Maybe we should have a labor department in Parliament. The other red team. Yeah, I'm talking nonsense now, man. Anyway, Tsepo, that's all from my side for this week.
Thank you for watching.
So thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
When you go to bed at night, sleep over it, think about, you know, they say there's karma, eh? What goes around comes around.
Yeah, so interact with us so that we can give a response to your questions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.